Beautiful day, all you brave hearts, and welcome to another fabulous BHN Studios amazing show. We have Dan and quantum healing for the family. I'm your host, Cheryl Serta, master practitioner from Northern California, Occidental Health and Healing. And today I just really want to open it up with Dan about what and why we need to do something about the EMFs that are attacking us on a physical and environmental level. This is a global issue. And I know that for me, I have so many questions, and it's so wonderful to know that we have an answer. In fact, after Dan came to visit, I am now an EMF free clinic. But more than that, I'm an EMF free home. So, we constantly go over and we have our little pendulum and we still see that, the thing works, because for us, when I understand what it meant to balance the frequencies, it's even more than just protecting. It's about understanding how to harmonize it so that it doesn't do any more damage to us. And so I am so excited that Dan is here, and I just like to welcome him. Good morning, Dan.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. I'll be right there. We gotta just getting everything set up here for you.
That's
Um,
okay. I'll keep talking until you
yeah,
become clear there. Oh, well, there
thanks.
you go.
Okay.
Are you
Yeah.
ready?
Oh yeah. There we go. All right. It happens. When you're live, you never know what you're gonna deal with. Cheryl, it is so good to see you again. Um, Yeah, this is I love being on this show, and I love helping co-host it with you, Quantum Healing for the Family, because everybody has a family one way or another, whether it's the, one way or the other. We have a family, and we want to be helping support that family and find the answers why we are struggling more today than ever to get over the hump and get healing done. And so today we're going to go into that and talk more and more about the EMF and this big word out there, 5G. What is that? What's AI? What's IoT? What's all this have to do with our health? I mean, it's just technology. What does it have to do with our health, Cheryl?
Well, I'm really curious as to how you even got into this. What made you come up with this technology? How did it become so important to you?
Well, here's the thing. Actually, I am not the guy who came up with it. I am the one who found it, not the one but ultimately what I found was out of a result to get to health. And let's see, Rafa, can you put us both on the slide on the screen? There we go. So what I the journey that we went on, and I think maybe all of us or most of us can appreciate to some degree when you have a critically ill person in your family. For me, it was a child. You don't want to stop looking for answers and solutions. You want to find that truth, that you want to find out, how do I help this person get better and thrive. And throughout that journey, the definition of what it means to thrive might change, but the ultimate passion and what's there is to find a solution. We want people to be healed and to be healthy. And so it was through that. My daughter had a primary immune deficiency. She had some brain injury, a major mitochondrial dysfunction, and those things were preventing her from healing. And so every time she'd get an infection, she would have to go on antibiotics. Then she'd have a secondary infection that would often end up going to the hospital. And the infections were everything from UTIs to kidney infections, blood infection, bone infection. They got really serious. And she was, this was in the first 5 to 6 years of her life. And we were dealing with this probably every 3 to 4 months is the cycle that her body would get, better, a relief of symptoms anyway, and then it would wear out and wear down, and then she'd get the infections again. And she was being receiving, care from the immunologist department and rheumatology departments, but we were still in this cycle. And some things are improving, but overall, the absence of symptoms does not equate to healthy and healed.
That
And
is so
so
true.
Yeah, and so we wanted to figure out what was the deal, and that's when we started looking into these They call them, alternative therapies or medicines or medical approaches, um, to figure out what is the system, and the system. I was taught we are chemical. If I take a pill, I can change it. It's like going into the mechanic shop, and everything is mechanical. Nothing, there's no physics to it. There's no biology. The biology is chemical based. And yet the reality that I found is no, we're electrically based. Our nervous system, our cardiovascular system, our brain, everything functions with an electromagnetic circuit first. And cells operate at a negative 50 millivolts, a healthy cell. But if you get injured and you need to repair that cell, it goes up to a negative 90 millivolts. So there's voltage going on in our body all the time. I loved this quote by Fritz Albert Popp that said, "Our we have 50 to 70 trillion cells in our body, and every single cell has 100,000 chemical reactions a second. And every one of those 100,000 chemical reactions requires energy. It requires voltage. And the question is, do we have the right voltage in the body? Well, Jane didn't. She did not have the right voltage. And so we need to figure out, how do we change the environment? Because if you don't change the environment, you can't get healthy. There's a quote that says, you can't heal in the same environment that made you sick. And I think the key there is environment. That was what was big for me, is how do I help improve the environment inside Jane's body, not just outside, but inside, in order to help the immune system start to operate better. And so in that study, obviously now we're talking about electrical systems and voltage. We landed upon the problem of electromagnetic radiation. And at the time, it was called wireless radiation or electrohypersensitivity. Today, it's electromagnetic radiation syndrome. But it's this condition that says that the electricity in and around us has an effect on our body that weakens the body, and that leads to stress, inflammation, and then disease. So how do I prevent that? Because that's obviously affecting her environment. And that's throughout this journey, looking at Rife machines, looking at other alternative modalities. I met the inventor. I met this international team of researchers who had developed a set of technologies that was biophotonic. So it's working with light, a series of frequencies of light that can amplify the quality and quantity of light inside the body, changing and improving the quality of the environment in the body, which would directly affect the very thing that Fritz Albert Popp talked about, was the chemical reactions in the cell. Because now the cell is getting more information, better quality, and it's not as affected by the environment. Well, what happens when you get a better chemical reaction in the cell? You get a healthier cell, which leads to healthier tissue. That tissue becomes an organ. That organ becomes the organism. And now you have a healthier body, I believe. So, and we get like a new digestive lining every few days. Our liver replaces every few months. Our kidneys replace every few months. Or we get a new skin every few weeks. So all the time our cells are replacing themselves. But if they're not as healthy as they can be, we could be having issues. And that's one of the major problems with electromagnetic fields. These non-native electromagnetic fields is that they prevent the cell from operating at its best optimal condition. And it's not just people, it's plants and animals, it's everything. You had mentioned off screen, whales and manta rays. There's a study out that they're affected by the EMFs. The soil, the worms, the microbes in the soil that create the conditions for our food to have high nutrition, they are affected. So our food is nutrient deficient. Our water is destructured. Our animals are not as healthy, and we're not as healthy, and we wonder why we're sick.
Wow, that's so well said. And not only that, I found out, especially when you think about the animals that actually use magnetic fields like bats, migratory birds. I mean, it's not just us. And for us, the studies that they show where it actually affects our immune system, right? It's that they actually have found that the antioxidant markers are lowered extremely low. And so when people have these symptoms where when they go, what does it feel like? Well, there's fatigue, there's headache, there's definitely a change in your mental ability. They found now that it actually decreases the learning ability in children. And I mean, look how children sit in front of their TVs, they're in front of their computers. They actually learn on computers now. It's like they don't pick up a book and they don't learn. Everybody's surfing the internet. So these children are exposed to EMFs at a very young age as part of the learning process. And so when we think about that, when you're sending your kids off to school or when you're coming home, how do you protect them? And I love that you said that, because we are always telling people that you have to get out of your environment in order to heal. You get away from what caused the issues in the first place. But having a solution so that when you come back to make your environment as healthy as it needs to be, to me, as a mom, as somebody that has this health clinic, that is so vitally important. And I thought, wow, it's just amazing to me how much, and it's a silent killer. Nobody understands, because they don't even think about it. They love this new technology. We love the fact that we can get out there to people on this platform. This is our computers, right? This is where we are in the future. So we do have to have a way to make that better. And I love that you found this company. I mean, through your research, because that's what happens, right? When you're that parent, and I know myself, when things happen to my children, there was no corner left unturned or like a flashlight looking in to find a solution that wasn't about doing more damage to my children. And I love the medical system, but you're right. It's a chemical based kind of thing. And we're not. We're energy beings. We are
That's true.
electromagnetic. I love that, Dan.
Well, and that's what we found. And so now we are a part of a whole international team. And now these products are available at the store doc of detox. I mean, you go there, you look at the lifeguard technology devices, and that's where you're going to find these plates. I mean, this is what I wear 24/7. I know you have yours on too. I know Dr. Wolfe wears his, because we have to constantly be giving ourselves the energy we need to be healthy and thrive. Because here's a lot of the issues that we find with this non-native EMF. Brain and neurological health. Look, brain fog, memory issues, ADHD-like symptoms. Do you ever find yourself like looking for a word? Well, it's not you. It's not like, oh gosh, I'm just aging. So many of these problems we consider old age, it's really is more about these EMFs causing us to have these brain fog, memory issues, sleep disturbances. I mean, how many of us struggle with sleeping through the night? I don't anymore, but we don't. And so many people with these plates find immediately their sleep is improved. Why? Because the circadian rhythm is improved. The biological clock is improved. All of that is driven by light. The biological clock, which is in the brain, right behind the hypothalamus, or part of the hypothalamus, I'm sorry, is driven by the light that comes in through the eyes. Well, the light that comes in through the eyes is polluted right now. It's polluted. Not only we're not getting pure sunlight, we're getting this dense fog that comes from EMF. All that radiation and frequency comes into the eyes as well. We have to realize it's affecting our vision, it's affecting the way our eyes work, our retinas, our cornea, and it affects our biological clock. So the clock that's in our brain is off from the clock that's in our gut. Why do we have digestive issues? Why do we have diabetes? Very well, I mean, it's because of the EMFs. That's highly researched. EMFs are a major contributor to diabetes and heart disease. Excuse me. Also, DNA damage, cellular damage, increased oxidative stress. You mentioned that. But this breaks up the DNA. And then if the DNA is broken up, and it goes and replicates. It creates bad cells, damaged cells that get passed on, and we end up with chronic disease or inflammation. Fertility and hormonal disruptions. This is a big one. It lowers testosterone in men and sperm count. If you want to have children, get rid of your phone. Do not carry it in your pocket. Just can't you stop doing that? And your fertility, your sperm count will come back. But if you're carrying your phone in your pocket and you're a man and you want to have children, that is a no-go anymore. You're going to have a really hard time. Same with fertility issues. We see this in cattle. I work with dairy cows and cattle ranches and livestock all over the country. We see in horses too. We see fertility issues driven by non-native EMF, and when we can clean it up with Lifeguard, we clean up we improve fertility and conception rates. So, same with cancer concerns. Look at this. WHO study just confirmed, it released just earlier this year, that cell phones radiation causes cancerous tumors in animals. Okay, that is this is huge because people have been calling for this for decades for governments and the regulatory bodies and tech firms to acknowledge that cell phones are doing what we all know they're doing, which is causing or leading to cancer. And here's a WHO study, the World Health Organization, showing that cell phone radiation causes cancerous tumors in animals. This was published on April 25th of this year in the Environmental International. A study analyzed 52 animal experiments and found strong evidence linking radiofrequency electromagnetic fields to tumors in the nerve and brain, the same types observed in human cell phone users. The WHO-backed review identified high certainty evidence that RF EMF exposure increases the risk of gliomas, which is aggressive brain tumors, and malignant schwannomas, rare nerve tumors in animals that end up being detected in the heart. I do a lot of work with a holistic veterinarian named Dr. Will Winter, and he is always on his cell phone, or was. He's not anymore, but he was always on his cell phone. And he talks about how he had a schwannoma in his face. It's a rare nerve tumor that had to get taken out because of the cell phone that was that he always had. This is a big deal. So we see that this is causing issues with the cell. Well, if the cells are being damaged, how are we going to be healthy? So those are just some of the things. I mean, is it conspiracy? No, it's true science now. The data's in, and it's not just in people, but it's in pets. It's in your dogs and your cats. You need to have one of these for your dogs and your cats. It's incredible what's happened with animals. We had a dog breeder who breeds high-end, beautiful, beautiful retrievers, and he had the moms all wear this the necklace, right? And their fertility improved dramatically. They had an incredible litter, and they're all super healthy little puppies. But in dogs and cats, behavioral changes. Some pet owners report their animals become anxious, restless, aggressive in high EMF environments. So if they're sleeping by the Wi-Fi router, that might be why they're aggressive. That might be why they don't settle down. That might be why they bark all night. What about sleep disruptions? In pets too, because pets rely on melatonin for deep sleep, and EMFs have been shown to disrupt melatonin production. Increased inflammation and joint issues. EMFs contribute to oxidative stress, which can make conditions like arthritis worse. High cancer rates. This is a major deal. Another great veterinarian that Dr. Wolfe has worked with in the past, Dr. Marlene Siegel. She always talks about how the cancer rates in pets and dogs is very underreported. It's probably 1 in 2, 1 in 3 right now in dogs, and maybe 1 in 6 or so in cats. Part of that is the diet. I mean, we cannot ignore, if you're eating processed foods, you're robbing your body of electrons. Electrons are critical for the function of the cell. We need to be eating whole foods that are unprocessed, because they're electron donors to our body. We need to go out, walk on the ground, hug a tree because they're electron donors, right? If you sleep with a fan on, your sleep is lower because that fan is robbing the air and your body of electrons throughout the night. So, what about high cancer rates in pets? There's a growing they see this cancer rate is dramatically high. 1 in 2, 1 in 3 in dogs, 1 in 6 in cats. Farm animals, reduced milk production in cows, reduced, we talked about this, reproductive issues in livestock, miscarriages, stillbirths, birth defects, chicken and egg layer disruptions. That's our food supply. Our food supply is dramatically affected by the environment we've allowed to be created. Thankfully, there is an answer, but it gets worse because bees and pollinators, which are responsible for 80% of affecting 80% of the fruits and vegetables that we all consume globally, bees and pollinators are majorly affected. Their navigation systems are affected. They can't communicate as well with the rest of the hive. Their honey production is reduced. Their pollinating production is reduced. They don't navigate as far away from the hive. So they have colony collapse disorder because the queen is affected. Bird migrations, tree plant damage, and when we see trees and plants just respond amazingly well when you take care of the EMF and you create an EMF safe farm or safe environment. I mean, the list, Cheryl, the list goes on. It's
Well,
incredible.
Since I've had my EMF, the one that I have here at the property, you would not believe my garden. I should take a picture of it and send it to you, Dan, because it is off the charts. Everything is blooming. But when you talk about bees, I might have noticed 1 or 2 bees in the past. I now have bees on every flower. It's like it has completely transformed my property and how my plants are growing. And I'm so excited because now I'm growing vegetables in an environment that I know is now balanced. And so I'm really excited to see the difference in the quality, the quantity, and how much I get, because I just feel so calm now.
I love it.
It's like that knowing.
Absolutely. And it's what we don't realize in our homes is if you have a Wi-Fi router, you can pick up that signal 100, maybe 100 feet, 100 yards away. Well, it's connecting to your phone or your laptop, but it's also connecting to the plants. And it's affecting those plants and suppressing their sap flow, their growth, their ability to bloom. So when you installed the plates in the clinic there and you created that EMF safe clinic, you didn't just bless the clinic, you're blessing that whole garden. And the insects, the nature understands that. They love it when the frequencies are balanced, because they're getting, what was happening is that the plants and the bees out there were getting the electro pollution, and it was artificial light that was heavy electro pollution that was creating stress and static in the field that was disrupting their function. But now you've mitigated that, and you've restored that natural structuring light from the sun and from the lifeguard plates. That structuring light is not just blocking it or mitigating, it's actually amplifying. So remember, absence of symptoms isn't health and healing. It's when we start to remove the symptoms and then we start to actively reinforce and improve. That's when you start to heal. And that's why when Dr. Daryl Wolfe brought these onto the store, it's such an incredible compliment to everything that's already going on with his store and with your Power Pack clinic. The cell sonic regeneration, the Wolfe Non-Surgical, all of those things. It's such a compliment. And with the supplements, the quality of supplements that Dr. Wolfe has, that infinite iodine, the black gold, oh man, the list goes on. Even the nasal spray I love that nasal spray now that he has help me remember, that's the
Silver bullet.
silver bullet. Thank you. I know it's nano silver. What is it? Silver bullet. I mean, I brush my teeth with the silver bullet and the healthy mouth and black gold every day. And now I'm doing the silver bullet in my nose as a nasal spray, and it's incredible. I love it, but it's even more functional, right? We want to get the most out of these things. I was talking to a family the other day. They spend $20,000 a year on supplements and doctor visits just to try to stay healthy, but the wife still struggles with chronic fatigue. We want to get the most out of that $20,000. Well, that is a major investment. It's a worthy investment because your health is worth it. There's nothing more valuable than your health. But let's get you the most out of that investment by improving the quality of the light and the function of your cells. So you're getting all those minerals absorbed into the cells. Your cell needs amino acids. It needs vitamins and minerals. It needs humic and fulvic. It needs those things. It needs oxygen, right? We need a high functioning lymphatic system to drain it all out. All those things are required, and these lifeguard plates help enable that, so that you get the most out of everything else you're doing. I mean, in short, sunlight charges the sunlight, and the light from these plates charges your cells like a battery. It's our body. We are the original technology. We're the original wireless technology. And we need to get that signal operating again. There's a lot of static in the field. Let's clear the static and let nature do what it does best. Because artificial light, the blue light that we have, the Wi-Fi, everything drains your battery, and it disrupts how your body recharges and heals.
So the only thing I want to correct, though, is we don't have supplements. We have nutraceuticals, and I like to call them nutritionseuticals.
Okay, great.
That's right. A supplement is something that you take, and by the time it gets all the way through that 30 feet, the efficacy is like 5%. Our nutraceuticals are immediately available to the body with no additives, and they're structured. So this is like adding extra nutrition to your body. So Rafa, could you bring up the slides for just a minute, because I want people to see what happens to the cells. I love this slide. Or let me there. No, I have it up on my screen. My share. I was sharing. Did you take me off? I was sharing. What happened?
So the takeaway, as you guys are working that through, is that we need to integrate this into our daily life and what we're doing, right? We need to take light seriously and realize that we can map frequencies, and these can help us. So go ahead. Now I see your screen.
Absolutely, because this to me is a real visualization. When you look at cells on the left, this is what they look like when they're being attacked by those EMFs. I mean, when you look at how sticky they are and how clumped together they are, there is no way that is a functioning cell. That is an inflamed cell, and we know that we're an inflammation nation. And after talking to so many different people, including Dr. Judy, and she said, nothing happens on a cellular level when there's inflammation. If your cells are eating inflammation, because that's all they can do, then all they can do is make another unhealthy cell, and that's why all this gluing and gooping happens.
That's it. Exactly. And that clumping up is a condition called rouleau or sticky blood. And it is clear, it is definitely acknowledges that 5 minutes next to a cell phone will do that. Just 5 minutes. But in 10 minutes with the Defender Pro Plus, look what your red blood cells convert to. Look what happens. Look at the light, the quality of light that's coming off of those cells. Look at the shape of them. They're like donuts, just like they're supposed to be. And all the technology is the same. All the lifeguard plates are the same. They just get stronger the larger they go. People ask me a lot, Cheryl, well, how do I know which one do I need? And the question is, how sensitive are you? The more sensitive you are, the more unhealthy you are, the more, it's all about how quick do you want to achieve your goals of getting healthy? Because like this quote says, our immune system is massively underrated as an instrument of good health. It's severely hampered by the environment we have created. And look at the chart. Look at what's happened over the last couple hundred years. And it's just going through the roof. I mean, we're in the next couple of years, we're going to have 50,000 to several 100,000 low orbit satellites. There's a new technology around they're going to sling satellites up into the upper atmosphere, and they could do that without rockets, and they can do a couple hundred at a time. They could do that every single day, and it's being touted as an amazing invention and opportunity to expand this 5G satellite constellations. And I'm telling you, it is going to be a major issue on our health. Like so many people have said, 5G is the worst, most damaging experiment on human health ever in the history of mankind. And
There's
we're living it.
actually 10G in some of the bigger cities. I mean, 10G. That's like, it's almost like being at ground zero.
Right. Well, and just to correct, like when we talk about 5G, we're saying that it's the fifth generation of the wireless technology and the protocols required for your phone to communicate with the towers. When you're talking about 10G, that's like 10 gigahertz. That's like the frequency that's being used, not the technology that's being used. So there is a 6G, like sixth generation wireless technology that's currently in development and being tested and deployed. But it's all about those. It's confusing because we use the same terminology, but like your wireless your cordless phone at home and your baby monitors at home use 2.4 gigahertz frequencies, same as your cell phones. The cell phones can use 2.4 gigahertz up to 5 gigahertz, and like you said, some Wi-Fi systems even use 10 gigahertz. So that's billions and trillions of times stronger than Earth's natural frequency, which is the Schumann resonance at 7.83 hertz, not gigahertz. Our bodies operate in millivolts, and actually our heart and brain is like around 2 to 10 hertz. So we are I mean, it's like if you were listening to soft classical music and someone came in and blasted the most like excruciating horn at the highest decibel rate you've ever heard, you couldn't even hear the classical music anymore. And
Wow.
so our cells can't hear and can't function off the healthy natural light. That's why Lifeguard, there it is, the EMF Lifeguard right on DACA Detox Store. That's why these things are important. That's why they're critical. That's why they're necessary. And the testimonies that we've had of people who have been sick for 14, 15, 20 years, and then they get the infused energy from these plates is significant. And within weeks, they see a major shift in their health.
I like the fact that it says within minutes, correct the disharmony caused by the EMF. It's not like you got to wait months for your house to get better or for your body to be protected. It is within minutes, right? And that long-term support for deeper sleep, greater energy. I mean, sometimes, Dan, I have so much energy that when I go to sleep at night, it's like my body goes, really? Do we have to be done?
Exactly. There's more work to be done. And that's the beauty is when you're sick, are you able to be at your best? Do you have the best relationships when you're sick? Do you have the best connection with other people when you're sick? Do you do your best work when you're sick? No, we don't. But if we can get rid of the EMF sensitivity and start to heal, then we can have better connections and we can do the better work. And that's ultimately what we all, I think, at the deep level, we want to be doing the good work, the best work that we can, what we were designed to do, what we were called to do. And when we're inflamed, we are very limited. And yet when we can remove that inflammation and start to add the Bodyguard Plus and the other products, we remove that inflammation. You saw the screen with the slide, what it does to your red blood cells within minutes. Now you can be back to that normal life and you can live that good work, do that good work.
Well, I love that we've been talking about exactly why this is so important, why everybody should be wearing one, because technology isn't going to stop happening. I mean, it's just going to keep going. So we have to be able to protect ourselves, just like me, wearing my Tesla glasses when I'm sitting in front of a computer, because anything coming off of this is going through a healing light before it gets to my eyes. I mean, there's nothing I won't do to make sure that I reach 100 in complete health and pain-free. So I
Yep.
want to just go through, I can't believe
Reach
how
100
fast.
at 100%.
Exactly. And so now I just want to go through what people can do and the different things that you offer, because I know that everybody's going, okay, you're right. Which one is for me? Which one do I use? Well, I think everybody should be wearing at least the Bodyguard Plus, right?
Absolutely. Yep. It's a great way to start, and it's just a leveling out, balancing field. And they just keep getting stronger and better as they get larger. More light coming off of the plates, that frequency of minerals and light that's infused in these plates is improved as you get stronger. In some of our bodies, we just need more energy than some of the smaller plates. But get started with these smaller ones. You're gonna love it. They're all wearable. So this Protector Plus is a 2.5-inch plate. And it could be worn in a wristband. It could be on your wrist, around your ankle. It could be in a pocket. It could also be, you could hang it in a necklace if you wanted to. So that's the Protector Plus, and it's about 10 times stronger than the Bodyguard Plus.
Wow. There you go. Talks about all the ways it can help you, because that's true. And so if you know you have issues, you would want to get that. Have it in your pocket, wear it around your neck, because maybe you're exposed more. If you're working somewhere where you're exposed and you're surrounded by all the EMFs and computers, you see some of these places, especially people who are in the stock market, and they're in these rooms where there's hundreds of computers and tons of internet and routers, so that they can be online every second of the day. So as far as that, I think every one of those guys needs to have this Guardian Plus somewhere on their body.
Absolutely. And this one also fits really well right in your pocket. It's about a 3.5-inch square set of plates. They're 3 layers, so they're even more amplified quality light and that EMF blue light protection. And you can even take that Guardian Plus, and you can paint your monitors, you can paint your laptops and your cell phones and your Wi-Fi routers. That further reduces the pressure of the EMF as well. So then they get better. The Defender Plus, this is one, I mean, if you are struggling, if you know you're electro-hypersensitive, if you have that EMR syndrome, this is going to really, I think, change the equation for you and support your body getting that voltage into the cells so you can start to have those healthy cells like we were talking about. That's what we want. And it can happen really quick. It doesn't have to be long term. And it actually, we all know people have maybe, like, one of the best ways you can use this is you take those nutraceuticals from Dr. Wolfe, and you can set it on top of the plate, and it's going to actually increase the biophotonic emission of those nutraceuticals as well. So they're even getting energized, which is going to improve those as well. So it's a complete system, and I love it because we love systems. Systems work really well together. Systems always win, and these make that better. You can also put food and water on top of these, or paint your glass of water. Like, I've got my tea here, my cleansing tea, and I can take the plate. I can even take my Bodyguard Plus, and I can paint that, and it's going to energize and increase the biophotonic emission of the liquid, of the water and the tea that's in there.
I love that idea.
So this Defender Pro Plus, I had a lady who, 14 years, systemic mold, chronic chemical sensitivity, and majorly EMF sensitive. She had to wear protective clothing, basically kind of living in a cocoon because of how sensitive she was to the environment and to everything that's going on. Her system it was on fire. Within a day of wearing the Defender Pro Plus, and she actually retrofitted a little backpack so it would sit right on her chest, just like the Bodyguard Plus does. But this Defender Pro Plus was right here on her chest. Within a day, she was so relaxed. She said, my mind was clear. I could feel that my body was saying thank you, and I could get back. I was just like back to being normal. And after a couple weeks, I could go into town without my protective clothing. And it's just continued to improve. And she says it's working today just like it was a year ago when I first started wearing this. And other people, I talked to another lady who purchased that 3.5 years ago. She goes, Dan, it's doing the same thing today as it was 3.5 years ago. These products do not wear out. This Universal Quantum Energizer Plus amplifies and expands the field of these plates. These plates are very directional. That's why you can paint your electronics with them. And it's an extremely effective way to improve the quality of the phones and everything and reduce the EMF. But if you want to have it also protecting the house, that's where you need the Universal Quantum Energizer Plus. This is different than other kind of EMF things out there because we're not a frequency generator. We're directing quantity of light directly in a beam that's effective and strong and balancing. So this quantum energizer has another energy device in the bottom that interacts with the plates and expands the field out with that with the Defender Pro Plus. It's 3.5 acres. It's your whole home. It's your garden. It's your homestead. With the Defender Pro, it's about 1.5 acres. The Guardian Plus, it's about 800 square feet or so. Then this is where it gets really cool because this is what we can put in clinics, hospitals, schools, farms, ranches is the Sentinel Plus. I've got it right back here. This is an example of one of them. We're helping create EMF safe farms, EMF safe clinics and schools. How many schools today are now realizing cell phones are a bad idea and they're a cell phone free phone? Great. But are they Wi-Fi free? Are they blue light free? Are they technology? No, they're not. And so they still have a problem. Yes, they've maybe removed one source, but I'm sorry, folks. There are layers and layers and layers of problems, but the Sentinel Plus deals with all of that and creates a mitigating bioharmonizing field that's beneficial and amplifies the quality and quantity of light throughout these buildings and across the property. And we've studied this. We've done multiple studies with a BioWell device that can show this and measure this, and it happens in minutes.
How wonderful would it be if we got this information to the schools, et cetera, when they're always doing fundraisers? So what about a fundraiser to have a Sentinel Plus in your school? I mean, that would be better than planting a new tree or whatever it is that they do, because this is life-changing.
This is the foundation. This is where it should begin, right? And then when you plant that tree, it is going to grow so fast. We've seen trees, their growth rate increase over 150% over year. I mean, it is phenomenal what happens. So you've got the harmonizer, the Sentinel and the Sentinel Plus. These are harmonizers. These are bioconditioning harmonizers. And yeah, go contact DACA Detox and ask them about those fundraisers. I'll coordinate with you through the DACA Detox store to help make that happen, and we can make this really work on a global level, global scale. Let's help millions and millions. I want to help billions of children become healthy and free from the EMF conditions that they're dealing with.
Oh, Dan, I'm so glad. This has just been the most fun. I love doing these shows with you. Every time I get on, I learn something different. You answer the right questions. It's personal. It's your family. It's my family. I mean, it's each and every single human being on the planet. And I love that you're bringing this technology to the Braveheart Nation.
Thank you, Stuart. I so appreciate excited. It. Yeah, I appreciate it. One last thing is just for those of you who are watching this, if this has meant something to you or hit a nerve, share it with people. Your friends and your family need to hear this too. They really need to hear that there's an answer, and that means that just take that massive action and share this stream with your friends and family. We were greatly
one last note, Dan, because my mother has been suffering from fatigue for a very long time. And, she's in her 80s, and her husband literally sit in front of the TV for hours. And so normally, she didn't ever watch normal TV. So what happened was one of her friends decided that she needed a Roku or whatever that was. And
Okay.
she actually didn't know that she had internet in her house. She did not know how this little thing worked. So I bought her one of the things that she could wear, not just this, it was the next one up, that she
Okay.
could
Yeah. The
actually,
protector.
yes,
Mhm.
that she could put around her body. And then about not even an hour after I left, she called me and she said, "What's in this thing?" she,
Exactly. I
and
love it.
she will not leave the house with it. I mean, she wears it constantly. It has become, she walks around telling everybody about it. She gives out the Doc Detox thing. So I love, because you're right, it is word of mouth and people with their own experience that make that difference, that make it believable. And
That's right.
I just love that the Doc Detox has spent all these years doing this stuff. But just like you, look at all these other people that are coming in. So we have the Healers of the Faith. It's a BHN TV special online event with Dr. Judy Mikovits and 18 world leading healers. It's free. It's Sunday, June 8th, 11 to 6 Eastern time. And then there's always a Q&A. So Mondays, June 9th from 12 to 2, and then Wednesday, June 11th from 7 to 10. If you don't go to bhnuniversity.com and sign up, then you will not get the link in order to be live to ask the questions. So I tell people it's free. Go to bhnuniversity.com, go to events, register for this, and you'll get the links. And then we're having another one called Gold Care. And I really want you to understand, these are doctors and people who are coming and putting this for free, just like Dan, so that we can educate you, so that we can show you that there's real healing that can happen if we have the knowledge to do that. So Dr. Dana H. Cranberg-Neal, Dr. Simone Gold, Dr. Dara Wolfe, Dr. Judy Mikovits, and 18 world-leading healers. Sunday, July 13th, 11 to 6 Eastern Time, with the same Q&As Monday and Wednesday. Mondays are 12 to 2, Wednesday 7 to 10, the 14th and the 16th. Again, you have to sign up. I've signed up for both because I want more and more knowledge. And if you're interested in those nutraceuticals, then you can go to the perfect day for the perfect May sale, which is going until this Sunday, the 25th. And so it's 40% off, people. If you're ready to start your journey, if you want real nutrition, right? Because like Dan was talking about, how the EMFs affect all of our environment and your food and even the eggs and the meat you're eating, then you need to add to your diet. You need to give back what you're not getting from that. And when they're using synthetic fertilizers, now there's zero nutrition in what you're doing. And of course, I got to give a shout out because Dr. Sage Wolfe is going all over the place doing these amazing treatments and consultations. Because always, just like Dan has brought to us, it's about knowledge. And so he's doing total body thermography, which is going to show exactly where the inflammation is in your body. And Dan should come down to my clinic in July so he can have it done. Because when you know where the inflammation is, you know where to focus. You know exactly where you still, even with all our harmonizing and everything we do, if you have aches and pains, you've got inflammation somewhere. Find out where it is. Find out the source. He's going to give you a perfect day consultation. Get the cell sonic regeneration, Wolfe Non-Surgical, cardio med bed. I mean, who doesn't want complete circulation? So right now he's teaching, starting on Saturday, the Wolfe Non-Surgical. So he'll be taking appointments afterwards, June 6th to June 10th. You got to call Deb at 305-342-9559. And then he's heading off to Calgary, Alberta, where he's also going to be teaching the Wolfe Non-Surgical. But he'll be giving his treatments from June 26th to the 30th. And you'll want to call Lorraine. And Lorraine is at 403-605-9216. Then he's heading off to St. Louis, Missouri, to Tim and Sandra at 479-215-9592, July 6th to July 15th. And then he's coming, that's right, Dan, to Occidental, California. So he's going to be here July 20th to July 29th, and it is really booking up. So, Dan, you can't wait till the last minute. You want to come down.
All right. I hear you.
Yeah, you hear me. if there's anybody else in your family, even if you just came for the thermography and the heavy metal testing, this is so powerful because it really is going to help you understand where the issues are in your body. And I do have a Power Pack clinic, and I have a good elbow, and Dr. Sage Wolfe has he has a diamond. He has a diamond elbow. So you can reach me at 707-322-1979. Heading off to Los Angeles, where he's teaching. Not only are we going to have the whole life coach, but the Wolfe Non-Surgical, and then he's going to be doing treatments July 31st to August 7th. And so you can call Niram 386-631-4066. And the last stop, you guys, is Montreal, Quebec. So that's the last time in Canada, everybody up there. So you want to call Christine at 438-929-0997, August 23rd to September 1st. And there you go. Go to bhnuniversity.com, click on Dr. Sage, find out where he's going to be, who to contact. And as I was saying before, there's the BHN course dates, you guys, again, at the bhnuniversity.com. And now, for anybody who's interested, there is financing for United States. So any of the courses and any of the cell sonic regeneration, cardio med bed, that's where you want to go. And you can go to DoD 5-star healing too as well, and ask your questions. Your questions matter. Any platform that you're watching this on, put your questions in, and then somebody will definitely answer. And instead of listening to just music every once in a while, when you're in your car, listen to something where you're going to learn something, right? We're on so many different audio platforms so that you can hear us no matter where you are. And now we have fulfillment centers all over the United States, Canada, and Australia. So when you go to the DocaDetoxStore.com, you're getting your stuff faster and faster. And if you want to be an affiliate partner, DocaDetoxPartner.com, refer people to us and you earn a commission. It's kind of like a no-brainer. You want to bring people to where real healing is happening, right? And if you're a health professional like myself or a practitioner, then you want to be offering these nutraceuticals to your clients. There are 0 chemicals. They are completely non-toxic. They are no additives. It is so pure and structured and immediately available to your body. And we have the products that are going to get the stuff out of your body that we're talking about. And so here's the DoD Power Pack clinics worldwide. If you are a professional, you want to be a Power Pack clinic because it makes all the difference in the world. DoDPowerPack.com. And right there it is. And by the way, we have financing in the USA. And we already talked about the 5star.com healing center. There it is. It's so beautiful. I don't know if Dan's ever been. Have you been down to Ixtapa?
I have not yet, but it is on the bucket list for this year for sure. Yep.
Oh, it's so gorgeous. That structured water pool that is all salt. There's no chemicals in anything down there, no EMFs. You're actually sitting in this beautiful place where you have all these energy medicine devices. And like Dan said, take yourself out of your environment to heal. Go down and get something just made for you. And Dr. Sage Wolfe, if you can't come to any of the times he's teaching, we'll come to you. That's right, worldwide. And of course, we tell everybody we're keeping our prices down. We have not changed our prices in 2 years. And these prices for Canadians, that's Canadian dollars as well, which is a huge gift to you guys right now as we watch that Canadian dollar drop. So you really want to take advantage while you can. And then, of course, financing available, as we talked, and perfect day consultations are so important. If you're starting this journey, then you want somebody in your corner. You want somebody who knows where you're at right now for your healing journey, and somebody who you'll have a coach for life. If you want Dr. Darrell Wolfe, you got to call right away because he's got a long waiting list, or you can go to Perfect Day Consultation and get one with a New World Master Practitioner for $150. Dr. Wolfe is $250. The numbers and everything you need are at bhnuniversity.com or perfectdayconsultation.com. And we have clothes now. I love it. You know what I just noticed? Not only do we have sweatshirts and t-shirts and hoodies, we have hats. We now have hats. Everybody's wearing a hat because we're always protecting ourselves from the sun. So go to DocaDetoxStore.com and you can click on clothing. We actually have that there. And I encourage everybody to download the app. This bhnapp.com, go to get the Braveheart app. It is the largest, most amazing app. I mean, it does so many things besides letting you know every event that we're doing, when Dan's going to be on, when Dr. Judy's going to be on, all the things that are happening are right there. Plus, it has the world's largest library. You want to start educating yourself? Go to Evolve and start reading. And I mean, they're humorous, they're funny, they're interesting. Nothing's too long. He keeps it short so that, your brain can only take in so much at one time, right? You get to connect with other people doing this work as well. And do the emotional intelligence work and find your perfect match. I love that. And of course, this is the ultimate, the perfect day guide. You read this book. This becomes your new bedtime book for your children. If we don't start educating our children younger, then they're not going to have the knowledge that they need going forward. And so you can have it delivered in paper, in form. So for 95, or you can download it for free at pdgfree.com. It's also in Evolve. And then Healthy to 100. I say 120, Dan. Healthy 100%. I know I had to rush through that at the end because I spent so much time talking to Dan and how important that was. Because as Dan and I know, the only permanent health care is self-care. No one's going to do this for you. You're the one who has to take massive personal action. We're bringing all this knowledge to you. Now take the baton and run with it. Go to the docandetoxstore.com, click on those EMFs, start protecting yourself and your home and your family. And the only permanent love is self-love. And to rise to your full potential, we have to first love ourselves. And that's how we fly. And I know that I loved how unbelievably available Dan's children's were, and how excited they were to get the treatment and to see the results that they got. I mean, it was like the first day was trepidation. And then by day 2 and 3, even your youngest was coming in going, could you do a little bit more? And I just loved that. So Braveheart Nation, we are stronger when we rise together. And before we end with our oath, Dan, again, I just want to thank you for being here. It is always such a pleasure.
Well, thank you, Cheryl. And I love talking with you. I love being here as well. And I'm so grateful for Dr. Wolfe for the opportunity and for him recognizing just how all these stories come together, and we can rise together.
And I hope you're doing your mirror work.
All the time.
So as we close today, just know we are so grateful that you joined us. We know that you take that time as we take the time, and we do love you. And we know that this is what we're passionate about, is bringing healing to you. So I always like to take a deep breath. We've been talking a lot. Connect. I am love. I am healed. I am Braveheart. Today and every day, from the moment I rise until I gently close my eyes, I will always trust, honor, respect, protect, forgive, and totally love myself first and foremost before anyone else or anything else. So help me God. Because I am, I can, I am love, I am healed, I am Braveheart, and I am all in. So 3, 2, 1, you got this.